Ryback Show starts now.
Welcome to the Ryback Show Live. I am the big guy, Ryback. Good to see everybody this nice, fine Wednesday afternoon here in Sin City, Las Vegas. Instagram and TikTok, the big guy, Ryback20. We are streaming live over on those platforms. This show, guys, this podcast, available on all podcast platforms, is on YouTube at Ryback TV. Super chats are brought up on the screen. The big guy's Starbucks coffee and shoulder massage money. Should clarify, the shoulder work for the scar tissue money. That can get taken the wrong way. And also on Twitch at Ryback Rules and Twitter at Ryback streaming on there as well. But we encourage everybody to subscribe to Ryback TV. It's completely free, and it's where your questions are answered on here. The majority of them that we do: health, fitness, supplementation, mindset, life, pro wrestling, whatever it is, the ebb and flow of the show will go is based off of your questions. Super chats are guaranteed to get pulled up on the screen and answered on that. And I always do my best to get to every single one of them on there that I can see. So I always appreciate when you guys point out if I don't get to one, because sometimes they don't pop up on the screen as well. This podcast is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line, sweetened with stevia and monk fruit, no harmful artificial sweeteners or colors, vegan friendly for men and women on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% from listening or watching this show with discount code RYBACKSHOW20, RYBACKSHOW20 at checkout. Get 20% off feedmemore.com. Sign up for our email and text message program as well. You get massive discounts like today. The discount that went out today, guys, and going upside, sign up for my text message alerts too, is if you want to put in a big order this week, I'm giving you guys $150 off orders $300 and up. So what that does is you get free shipping, first of all, on that. With that, orders over $125 and up are free domestic shipping on that. So if you put an order in for $300, it's only going to cost you $150. You also can select a free premium t-shirt. I'm actually wearing the Hungry Feed Me More Nutrition shirt right now. And you get the free shipping on that. So huge discounts I give to our returning regular customers on there each and every week. It's well worth signing up for those programs. No spam, just a huge message of positivity, thought of the week, with a huge discount. And that's it. Once a week on those guys. So sign up for those programs as well if you have not. All right, what's going on? What do we got going? I'm going to crack open a nice cold Zevia here, the black cherry. I tell you, it's a nice warm day here in Vegas after a big arm workout. And I had a bunch of water already. I had my post-workout meal. And I tell you, these Zevias, the black cherry, that's my go-to when I'm thirsty. Always puts the big guy in a good mood. Had a great arm workout. Great conditioning session on the Stairmaster. I've been doing some new things. Hanging, I told you guys I discovered a book. It popped up, I don't know if it's been close to a week and a half now, by John Kirsch. He has a YouTube channel as well. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He is an older gentleman who has been an orthopedic surgeon for the majority of his life. And he specializes in doing a lot of shoulder surgeries. And he found, and through his own difficulties, the power of hanging from like a pull-up bar for 10 to 15 minutes a day, every day. And you don't do it straight. You do it for as long as you can. And then you take a break for 30 seconds or a minute. And then when the 10, 15 minutes is up, you're done. And it solves almost every single shoulder problem, according to this guy. And I've always been told to do shoulder hangs, but nobody's ever specifically told me. It's like, just do a few sets for like 15 seconds. But the problem too is when you need to go longer, your grip gives out. And you can only hold on, I'm damn near 200 weight, went to bed at 291 pounds last night. I'm usually in the 285 range, but it's a lot of weight on that to be hanging for 15 minutes. So they recommend buying these hooks, these wrist strap hooks that go on your hands, and they make holding on to the bar way easier. You still fatigue, but it's more your wrist from the straps. It's not your hands giving out. And this hook that hooks around. So anyways, I'm getting those made for Feed Me More Nutrition. I've already I'm shopping around right now and doing all and getting different pricing. And I'm going to hopefully have those within the next 3 to 4 weeks on feedmemore.com. And I'm actually including part of this in the Feed Me More Nutrition, Feed Me More maximum size and strength workout program that I'm working on to give to you guys to put on feedmemore.com as well, which is going to be way more detailed than I thought it was going to be, because I'm just trying to give you guys as much value as humanly possible for this thing. And I'm super pumped to get this out. And we're getting some images done and getting it all together. And I'm giving different workout routines. I'm putting all the different exercises, a lot of different like thoughts and ideas and things I've learned over the years into this program. But anyways, this hanging is fantastic for people with shoulder issues. And I feel like I was just telling Wade Barrett yesterday, I feel like that was the missing piece with all of this. And the big bulge I had in my scapula region is gone after only just a week of hanging already. And there's all these testimonials in the guy's book. You can get the book on Amazon. It's by John Kirsch, and I think it's called Shoulder Pain or Shoulder. If you just type in Shoulder Book by John Kirsch, it will come up on Amazon. And it's a very simple thing with some simple exercises, but the hanging is the main thing in it. And I tell you, I feel like you have a euphoric feeling because you feel it working. And they describe in the book why this hanging, it essentially remodels your shoulder. And there's a joint called the acromyohumeral joint, that has never really been recognized, that is responsible for so much in the shoulder. And I'm having the best workouts that I've had in 6 years. And it is like I'm just getting bigger and stronger, and I'm following my program to a T with the rep range and everything that I have in there. And it's that I used to do back when I was healthy and able to do all the time. So, and I had to get away and do a lot higher reps when I was really, really bad with everything. There was just no other way around it. And it feels amazing to be where I'm at right now. So I highly recommend that. And I'll answer if you have more questions on it. I'll do my best to try to answer. But that book really explains it really, really well. All right, let's get to some super chats. I love you guys too. Thank you. Kayla, good to see you. Hi, Ryback. Why did you decide to become vegan? It was just more had Austin Aries on the podcast. It was the one thing that I never even looked into. I refused to associate my food with animals. And being somebody, I love animals dearly. And it was just more of, nope, this is what we need. It was being negligent on the protein foods that we had made available in eating, even though I was still what I considered to be healthy, and the heart test and everything I have will show that. I just simply refused to look into it. And after talking to him and reading Austin's book and then reading a few other books, and it was just, I go, I'm just going to try it. And when I saw the physical performance from like my endurance and I saw my body, I feel changed for the better. It was just, it was a no-brainer on that. And I'm not against, like, I do understand. And the more, and you get angry, like, I don't like factory farming and what's going on with our farming system and the way we have been taught to overeat and overconsume animal products. I don't, the world is a crazy place. If you look at the majority of life, the majority of life consumes each other, right? It's a very just cut and dry thing, but like there's different animals and us that can thrive on a plant-based diet, or at the minimum, like, and they say based off different research, having an 85% plant-based diet and consuming some animal products, but not a lot. And I think that is, and the more that I've got into this, and that's where I think as a society and the problems that we have, it's not like, hey, you got to eat plant-based meats. It's which those you don't even need those. There's different versions where you vegetarians where you eat eggs, but like if you get your eggs, do you get your eggs from a farm that isn't, or do you have your own chickens where they're not being abused and tortured, right? there's just I look at things a little differently than when I first got into it, and really you see what's going on with the animals and the factory farming, and you get angry with it. But don't get me wrong, like I'm very honest about it. I love the taste of meat and chicken, and I've never been like a huge fish person or seafood person. Just never is really like if you could tell me like you could have chicken, steak, or fish would be the last option on that. Just never have been thrilled about that. But I just once you learn that we have all these protein foods and you just have to learn them, and you go, oh, I don't actually need this stuff every single meal like I thought I did, and that you see yourself improve. It's just you kind of, you know, but you have to go down that path, and you have to be willing to not be scared, and to like a lot of people, you're like, well, our ancestors, they're like, no, there's lots of proof that a lot of our ancestors were vegan. A lot of that depended on where they were, what area they were in. And it also is, it's different. If you're going back to the beginning of civilization, we were with humans, what are your options? If your options, and, there's not a Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and Arby's and every other, which, Pizza Hut, whatever you want. They weren't all those places around eating it, 6 times a day. Right. So you just got to look at the world and kind of the way the system's been set up for us. And you got to take accountability of wanting to learn the foods and not just what was taught. And then once you do that, the decisions become a lot easier. And not saying you're going to give up the stuff altogether, but I do believe you'll be more conscious of the food that you put in your body on a more regular basis. And maybe some people won't, right? But it's just the way that was my introduction into it. And then the stem cell company BioAccelerator that has played such a huge role in me getting my health back, right, and sending me out there a couple times for the treatments. Their nutritionist, they recommend going vegan, especially during the stem cell process, and it, be as much plant based as possible, because all the research shows that is you could thrive on that. And it's so that was just for me in being obsessed with getting my health back, and then learning about the issues with how we're treating different animals. And I know life is it's not an easy thing. Like death is a part of life, but like if you watch a lot of these videos online on what we're doing, we are so much better than what we're doing, right? And it's different too. If you had your own farm and you're raising animals and they live a loving, caring life, and towards the end of their life, when it's their time and they go down peacefully, and then you choose to consume, that's a lot different to me than what we're currently doing, right? And it's just like we're bullying the most harmless of animals in the most vicious ways. We're destroying our oceans, we're destroying our planet, for capitalism, for mass consumption, when things need to just like, we've just gone down the wrong path for far too long. And there's going to take some really special human beings to kind of reset things in a better way. And we as humans have to be open to that and realize that the people that came before us, there were some bad people and that did some bad things, and things are kind of the way that they are. But if we can't keep doing it, there's at some point in time, we have to make some adjustments. And not saying we give all that stuff up, but we have to make some adjustments. And I just think the more plant-based we are as a society, that will allow us to thrive, right? So with all that went into becoming a vegan, and selfish reasons of wanting to be better, and then seeing the animals, and that it was a multifaceted, thing. Got another super chat. William Schaefer, buddy, thank you for the super chat. Ryback sending love. Do you think these mask mandates will ever end? Well, I've thought everything has ended. If I'm not, they're starting to, from what I've seen, everything's so normal in Vegas. I tell you guys, even when all of this started, I was living in a bubble far before the quarantine and everything, right? Because of my injuries and with Sophie. So my life was not greatly impacted because I had to deal with all that many, many years ago. And I never, even though the thing I didn't like was the gyms. Luckily, I have my own gym at home, and I did a lot of my workouts at home. And then the main gym in Vegas, the LVAC that I'd go to, they after the initial run of the mask stuff, they stopped enforcing it. And some of the other gyms in Vegas didn't. And one of the other gyms that didn't was EOS, and I just canceled my membership there because they wouldn't let you wear the face mask or anything like that in there. And I work out very hard and doing my conditioning. I'm not wearing that stuff doing conditioning. It is not it would not beneficial, not beneficial. And but I from everything I've seen, I feel like everything is it's kind of just disappearing now. So which it always should have been a choice no matter what. And I think a lot of things turned a lot of people against people. And, world's in a crazy state with everything. You can't, I'm just glad we need to learn from this so that doesn't happen during our generation again, what they just tried to pull, which I don't have that much faith in a lot of people because you see the idiocracy we live in, that they could be manipulated very easily, and people want to be angry, and that's why but hopefully the right people go after the people that did a lot of this stuff, and that the truth is going to come out to where hopefully during our lifetimes, hopefully during our, if you have children in their lifetimes, a stunt like that is not pulled again. Even though it's like I said, I'm at the point now where if the aliens from Mars Attacks, the movie Mars Attacks, aliens with the big bugged out eyes just started coming down at us, I told you I'd be like, yep, of course. That's the next step. What else was there going to be? So that's where I'm at with everything. Have some bottles of hard liquor ready to go. Have the guns loaded. If you see things going, just start chugging and go out in a blaze of glory. I am 6'2" on the dot, my friend, barefooted. Wrestling, I think, always marked me at 6'3", which isn't dishonest actually, because in my wrestling boots was over that. So, but 6'2" barefoot. Brandon says, I haven't got an email newsletter since 3:30. Checked my junk folder and everything. I must have been buying too much. Nope, Brandon, they should. I don't know what's going on. I think something happened on the emails, but check your junk or spam folders. They go out every week. And like today's gone out. We've gotten a good amount of orders for today's discount already. So people are getting them, but I do know because it went into my junk folder one week. I think something randomly, and I have it, like I've said, with everything going on, I think that they were able to do something and the emails went to everybody's junk. And so luckily enough people have checked and we're looking at that through the open rates on everything. I just tell you, if you're subscribed to the email newsletter, please check your junk mail and make sure to remark it as not junk. And it's just, there's a bunch of BS going on with everything. I want this legal stuff with WWE to be over as soon as possible. And they are on a tight timeline here with they got to come back. So I'm expecting very soon, and then can go from there. But sign up for the text message alerts as well, please, on those, and just in case. Gerardo, thank you for the nice comments. Chuckled owner says, tried the Wake Up Unlimited Energy for the first time and love it. I've fully replaced my daily sugar-free Red Bull with it and just ordered my second container. Thanks for the much healthier energy drink option, big guy. You're very welcome, and I greatly appreciate you checking it out. And I just try to. I use this stuff myself, and I'm very health conscious, and I do believe that is what sets me apart from 99.9% of these other companies. And it's not me just trying to get a sale. It's me in the sales game, but with the products that I use, and that's why I try to get you guys to understand my mindset, the hashtag hungry mindset, and striving for more. And I believe in capitalism for good, where you make money, but you provide quality products and you don't hurt people. And if everybody had that approach, the world would be such a beautiful place. And that's why I do not like evil people. It's like the movie Kindergarten Cop. If you want to know my personality, it's Kindergarten Cop to a T. Like I want to be loving and kind all the time, but I don't like the bad people. And my dislike for the bad people is I feel it is my responsibility during my time to fight the bad people. Does that make sense? But I try to remain happy and loving and good as much as possible. But I've been giving this hulking, strong, just physique of hungry, determined individual where things don't get to me, and I could take all the lies and the BS, and I could just keep going, and I can handle it, right? And that is why, and that is my job. I don't like the bad people, and I'm here to take out Crisp and all the other bad people. But thank you, Matt. And I try to do, like, with all our customers for Feed Me More Nutrition, that have been with me from when we started with 3 supplements and now up to 13. And there's going to be a huge growth spurt coming up, and with a lot of other stuff. And, I'm very thankful. And I try, that's why I do the discounts for you guys. And because it's like we have an 80 something percent, 83, 84% returning customer rate every month. Like it's like you guys have made it work. So that is, and I try to take care of our returning customers, and I'm trying to go out and get as many new customers as possible, because I know a lot of them are going to stay. But I truly believe in, like, I'll never sell you anything that is bad or that I don't believe in or doesn't work. You won't see it. You will not see it. And if you do, you're more than welcome. People can call me out on here, and I'm one of the only people that talks directly to you guys. Not to say that other people don't do it here and there, but like from a business owner and supplement company owners, a lot of them don't do this kind of stuff because they know what they're doing, and they know they're probably going to get called out. Or the bodybuilders, like, hey, don't you take massive amounts of PEDs, and why are you selling us these supplements with harmful artificial sweeteners and colors that you never used to be successful? Like, and that's the difference between me and them. And it's like, I've been making this stuff since I was in my 20s, and I've used this stuff from day one. And that's the difference. People might not think that's the difference, but it is the difference. And it will never change. And that's why, the stuff works. So, but I hope to get more flavors out too, and that for you guys. We got 3 that's the most flavors we got of any of the products. But I definitely I'd love 5 flavors of everything. I think that would be a really good number to strive for. That's going to take a lot of money though. So we will get to that point when we get there. Got another super chat I believe I've missed here. Hulk. Hey, Hulk. Hey, Ryback. I currently take vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, quercetin, and glutathione. Is there anything else for general health supplements you would suggest? That would depend, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, depending on your age and what you're doing. I'm looking, I do believe taking a whole food multivitamin is very beneficial. I would also, I think you'll be covered if you add in a whole food multivitamin and some organic moringa, Moringa capsules. Moringa is filled with nutrients and antioxidants, and very, it will last for a good amount of time. But I would take a whole food multivitamin, and you probably could actually, what you could do is, if you do that, you could cut out the vitamin C and zinc. If you get a quality whole food multivitamin on there with that, even though it's not bad taking those extra of those, but the vitamin D is very beneficial, obviously. And my doctor, I actually take 15 for a, I either take 12,000 or 15,000 IUs of vitamin D. That's with a little coconut oil, and my vitamin D levels are perfect. And that's even going out in the sun and doing the hot tub a few days a week. And But having I work with my stem cell doctor, who's also pretty much my primary care physician, and we just had a phone call. We do calls periodically. Super intelligent guy, and he'll bounce things off of me, and he'll look at like lab work and say, "You like, okay, this is all great. You might want to throw this in there." And so he keeps me on the loop, and because he's really into all this, and he's been great with me with everything. So that's what I would add in with that, though, uh, with everything. Thank you, buddy. Why did I quit WWE? There's actually it's pinned on my TikTok. If you go to my TikTok, the big guy Ryback22, it's on one of the pinned things up there, and I give a pretty not completely detailed all the way, but a I give you enough info of what happened and why I left, and there's a lot that's gone on. There's legal stuff. I've won everything. I'm winning the rest, and it's all being settled and hopefully over with very, very soon. Right? And then we're just waiting. That we are waiting for them on there's some stuff, and I can't really talk about things in detail. And once things are all said and done, I won't be talking probably about any of it ever again, and I'll be very happy about that because I don't ever want to, outside of answering things, but like as far as I want the games and everything that's gone on with the social media. It's illegal what's gone on and what they've tried to do, and it makes me very angry even thinking about it. And but I will win, and it will. All the wrongs of the past are going to be made right. Going to be made right, and the big guy is going to be very happy. I don't know. Ross is Ryback. When you were in the WWE ring, did you read your lines on monitor because you never looked at your in-ring workers when talking? Ross, so one, that's completely false. Every promo in the ring where there were opponents in the ring with me or other people, workers, as you say. I always looked at them. So I don't know what you're referencing, first of all, Ross. Second of all, they don't have monitors in the ring or anywhere out the ring because there are thousands of people in the arena. So if they did have monitors out there, I don't know where they would be. Maybe on the Titantron, Ross, where thousands of people would see you reading the lines. So no, Ross, no. Very interesting. I'm sure you saw something on a dirt sheet or written by something, and you ran with it, but no. My name Ross. All right, we'll take it easy on Ross. There's no such thing as a stupid question, only stupid people, guys. And that's just the way that it is. Baby Ruth. Let's see. The big guy wants something, he will get it. No, that's right. That's absolutely right. Let's see what else is there. What do you do if people go off script while wrestling? Um, Nothing. Pro wrestling is act and react at the end of the day, and it is a job as a professional wrestler, regardless of whether it's a match or a promo, is to act and react. The best stuff is off of act and react, and that's what pro wrestling used to be. And then things became a little more scripted and more planned out, which is fine, and especially for a TV product. but you never want to overplan. You want to leave some wiggle room in there for the act and react part of the game. And when you do that as a performer, pro wrestling is a lot more fun. And I always talked about this, especially my last few years in WWE, last couple. A lot of the live events, and don't get me wrong, you still do stuff and you have some stuff, but there was a lot more that we didn't. And depending on who I was working, and that would allow me personally to have a lot more fun. And because and it's more believable too when you do things that way. In pro wrestling, it's not supposed to look overly pretty. And it's not, it's supposed to, you want things to be a struggle at times in a working way. But when you plan out too much fancy, pretty stuff, you take away the illusion of a real fight, and it's a disconnect for the masses. It may not be a disconnect for a certain small portion of the crowd that is living in a fantasy world and bubble in real life as it is, right? With that, but it's a disconnect for the majority of the world. And that's why you'll always see the biggest names in pro wrestling are those that don't do that. Or if they do, they're very specific when they do that. Let's see here. How hard was it to lift up the Big Show? Oh man, Big Show was don't get me wrong. He's an absolute giant of a human being. He makes anyone he's around, you just feel like a little child next to him. But and there was never any issues picking him up. And he's very good with his body. He's very good with his weight and distribution. And he is fully aware of how big he is. And but he is a guy that was super athletic to begin with. And some in wrestling a long career and being that big, he's had a lot of injuries. I would have loved to have wrestled him, with him knowing what he knew when I wrestled him with him in his prime, probably WCW days. He was, but even then, even with me, and I'm sure he was in a lot of pain, but he moved great, I thought, with everything we ever did. I'll tell you, I loved working Big Show on live events, especially when I was IC champion and babyface, and he was heel Big Show. We'd go out and do opening match. Place would go nuts. I'm over on my end, he's over on his end. Man, you just gonna, and he was fun. He was a lot of fun to wrestle. And you have things that are going to work, and pick them up for the shell shock at the end, and the place goes absolutely wild, and they're not going to see anything like that for the rest of the show. And I always loved stuff like that where I was like, even though it sometimes would take a toll working the bigger guys, especially ones that aren't like Big Show, and like Kane was another one I always loved working, because it was like over on my end, over on his end, right? And it's live events are just fun. And we'd work together. I worked Kane a lot. I loved working Kane. He's another one. Great guy. And I'll tell you, there was one time on a live event, and I believe it was Wildwood, New Jersey. Me and Big Show were opening match. I've got a pretty good memory. And crowd was crazy. I went to pick him up for shell shock, and for whatever reason, we mistimed it where the deal, and it was very small. I didn't try to force it. We went to go, and I could feel we weren't in sync. It just took a split second and go, whoop, boom, and launched him up. And that was the only time we had one hiccup, and we did it a lot on a lot of shows. And but he's that good, into where some guys might get like a little pitter patter footed, a little happy feet. He just knew. We'd done it so many times, and reset, go. Nobody knew any different. But that's because if he would have like freaked out or like tried to shuffle, and I lose positioning on the move, it would have taken a little bit longer to reset and do it. And that was the only time. And I was just like, I loved that happened, because like that he's good. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Is that a UFC question? Vincent asks, would you recommend your pre-workout for someone who's never tried pre-workouts before? Yeah, it's a clean energy supplement. I would just simply say start off with either a quarter of a scoop or half a scoop and no more than that, and assess your tolerance to it first. And then, if after that, if you want to increase to the full dosage, fantastic. But I think at the very least, if you do half a scoop, it's going to last you 60 servings on that. And it's just an energy supplement too at the end of the day with that, even though we have the pump formula in there and it is a pre-workout. But you could take that stuff. I take it first thing in the morning and then I do a coffee in the afternoon and that's it as far as my caffeine consumption goes. But I love taking it first thing in the morning when I do my big bulk of my morning work for Feed Me More Nutrition and all the stuff I got to do before I even get going with my day, right? So it just puts me in a good mood, and I would absolutely say just assess your tolerance first with it. Yes. Me and Big E always have gotten along very well. You would love to see me and Big E work out. Yeah, me and Big E, that would be a maybe, you never know, down the road. Just do two big beefy men working out, little skimpy tank tops, chest meat just flopping all around. Somebody says, I feel like you're going to get your 400,000 subscribers tomorrow. It's either going to happen tonight or tomorrow. This live could bump it up to where it could happen pretty quick. We are very close, though, to the 400,000 subscribers on Ryback TV. We are also about to hit 2.7 million on TikTok, probably tonight or early in the morning or when I'm sleeping. So I thank you guys on all of that for everybody who's following on these platforms. I love Roman Reigns. I think he's really come into his own. I'm very happy for all of his success. Jen says 417 pounds down to 230 pounds. Congratulations, Jen. Jen T. That is absolutely amazing. Congratulations. I love seeing people change their lives for the better. And you realize how much it impacts life in every area. What's up, Ryback? I'm a vegetarian trying to get ripped, and I was wondering how often I should eat. Every like 3 to 4 hours, I do. That's fine. I do 4 meals a day. I used to do a lot more meals. I used to eat a lot more frequently, and I found that it was just I'd rather I do 3 meals and one protein shake, and my I do my protein shake, the ISO Hungry plant powered protein shake with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on whole wheat bread, and that's my so there is a little bit of food that and with that, but I do that because I do my morning meal with my fruit and my performance meal, and my performance meal is low carbs, but I have my fruit, and that's the bulk of my carbs for the day. Then I do a little bit more carbs with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the protein shake going into my training session. And then after that, it's very few carbs for the rest of the day. And I've been doing that where I do 3 days of low carbs, followed by a moderate high day of carbs, followed, and that's usually I'll do that in my wine night, followed by a 24-hour fast, and then which is a no carb day on that day, followed by another very low carb day, and then into the carb meal, and that typically it falls on a Monday or a Tuesday. I apologize, where I do my I'll do my feeding time meal on that as well on that carb day, so that I have so Mondays and Fridays are my days to have some carbs more so, and then the other days are typically right around 125 grams or less. And I'm very active as well, so that's not a lot. If you have a knee injury, you need to rest, ice, elevation, and I would check out. We have a great product called 123 Muscle Joint Tendon formula that is for your muscles, your tendons, and your joints. Uh, and there's an ingredient in it. I'm going to botch it probably. Cetyl myrrolstoliate, CM8 for short. That is absolutely fantastic for joints and arthritis. And there's supercisis for tendons, um, and a few other really good ingredients for inflammation in that. So, and turmeric, which is another thing for muscle inflammation. So I would check that out. We're going to deal a quick little shell shock here. We hit a meat hook and shell shock. We got him high on the neck, right in the trachea. He is kicked out of Rybackville forever. Don't worry, guys. You don't even got to acknowledge him. We shell shock and move on. Do the march, and keep on marching. What's happening with the Goldberg versus Ryback match? There's nothing happening with that. That's not an official match or anything. That was me mentioning it on a Feeding Time video. And we'll see what happens with the legal stuff with everything. And once that stuff is out of the way, and I'm at a point now where I could easily do a match. So we'll see. We will see. It's all going to be dependent on how this whole thing finalizes with everything, and that won't be any of your guys' business on any of that. But and we'll go from there. I don't know Brian Shaw at all. Jen says, I made the choice to be a participant in my life instead of a spectator. Jen, I absolutely love that. And that's one of the things I get upset when I see fans and people that live their lives watching other people live their lives. I think there's levels to all of this and like being healthy. And I think being a fan of stuff is completely fine, but when it's balanced, when you have your own priorities and your own life in order, but when you start sacrificing your life to just watch other people live theirs all the time, like I see people that are sports fanatics that their whole lives are obsessed about chatting about the team and going to all the games, and they don't do anything in their lives. Now, again, if they're completely happy and that's, but oftentimes you see the people that are like that are the most they criticize the most, and they're the most negative with it, and they're not. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are some loving, supportive people, but I just hate to see that personally. And I know we're all here on this planet living our lives, but it's like, do you think when your soul's up in heaven, and you're like, hey God, I want to be a super fan, and God's like, are you sure, Billy? You want to be a super fan? And Billy's like, I want to be the biggest mark in the world, God. Send me down. I don't want to do anything with my life. I want to be pathetic. And God's like, well, finds the right parents. Oh, there's a lot of those down there. All right, Billy's born. Like, I just don't feel like that's the way it's supposed to go. But I don't have all the answers. I'm not God. I'm just the big guy. And I want people to be fans, but to also strive to be better in their lives, because it creates better humans where you don't act like complete trash online. And that's all I want. That's all I want from people. Be fans, but be respectful. Have your own stuff going on, because when you have your own stuff going on, you're happy and you don't get upset over other stuff going on in other people's lives. Right? It's so simple. Ryback psychology. Ryback psychology. Did I ever wrestle Batista? Yes, in the Royal Rumble. He eliminated me, actually. He got me. But I beat him up a little bit before he just sidestepped me pretty much, if I'm not mistaken. No, or did he? He might have threw me by the. Either way, it was a good time. I like Dave a lot. He's awesome. He actually came over. He was very concerned, and he just goes, He just goes, "What the hell is going on with you?" Because that's when things were booking was not great. And I said, "Welcome back to the WWE." I said, "Things are crazy," and he knew it already. Though he already knew it, but he was in for what he saw. Things were not the same as when he was there previously. But Jen, I'm very happy that you've taken control, and it's such a powerful thing, and it's just going to continue to improve for you. Thank you. Says I've been watching the channel since you had 50,000 subscribers. Not gonna lie, I've seen a massive change with your body. You look amazing. Thank you, buddy. I feel like I've stayed in shape this entire time. Like I'm always in shape. I always have abs, and it's just a matter of I'm able to train, and like I don't do the drugs, so I have to train heavy to have a body that looks like I've had. That was how I looked, the way that I looked my whole life, and so I had my health taken away. I had to, do a lot. I do crazy workouts with super light weights, but I was doing 40, 50 sets when I was at my worst of all these super light supersets just to try to get some sort of intensity in there. But there's no way for the human body to build the muscle naturally on that without heavy weight. It's just not possible. At least for me, it never has been. So for me to be able to train heavy again and just to be patient and to know that you know, that I can overcome this, and I never have given up belief in it. And trust me, it's not been easy, but that's why I just simply believe I have been given. Uh, I was given the chance to prove my mindset, if that makes sense, which is only going to make things better for the future because it's all been documented on through everything we've done on all the stuff. And the people that, and they'll be able to, people will go be able to watch things and watch different parts of this and go, wow, this guy literally is what he says he is. He is what he preaches. And as a human being and a brand and a business owner, there is no better thing than just the proof is in the pudding, right? And that is it's like that's why I look at like all the lies and the hate and the negativity, and that is what drove me to be more proactive on social media to show people who I am so that the people that follow can go, you can make an informed decision on, are you going to believe that, or are you going to believe things that you see repeatedly, right? And also get to know me better, because that's one of the things, unfortunately, from wrestling. I'm very, I always say I'm a comedian. I think I'm more of a comedian than anything. But I'm also, but I like in wrestling is physical acting, but people, I think, and I'm very serious and I train very hard and I'm very intense. These are all real elements to me, but there's so much more than that, that oftentimes people just see the wrestling, and then they read everything as like, or they everything that you see, and you put a sarcastic funny thing out and they read it dead serious, or they remember you from being a bully on TV, which a lot of people created a lot of hate from me from playing that role well, which to me is just simply insane that would create real hate with any of that. And like, but it has, and there's people that hold on to hate from that with that. But I just look at it as like, I have the ability to just be me, to be free, to not have to worry about what I'm doing on TV. And don't get me wrong, if I go back and do something on TV or wrestling and I'm playing a certain role, and say I went back and this isn't happening, but say I went back and it was Ryback doesn't speak for 3 months. Just say that was the role. There's a 3-month program deal, but you don't speak the entire time. As a performer, the last thing you would want to do is to be doing this, and then on TV I'm not talking, right? Like imagine like if Crow Sting, when he wasn't talking, he's just doing a podcast every week talking about taking his kids to Chuck E. Cheese, and like just shooting the crap with you guys. Like it'd be weird, right? It would. So that's where I like I have the luxury of not having to worry about that right now, and where I could just be myself, and it's all dependent on the roles that you play and while you're doing things. And I do believe in that aspect of the pro wrestling. It's like the Fiend. You don't want to see the Fiend, doing things, even though I think we live in a world and day and age, but like that character, it's difficult, right? Because you want people to believe in stuff. But that's why I want you guys to know me better, so that I could play any role, because there's more money in being able to play any role. And I believe the best role is just being yourself in all aspects with that, right? And so that's why I'm pretty like happy just being free, because it's when you have, but I look at all this again, just into like, it's been a blessing to have a platform, even though all the BS and the suppression and everything's gone on, just to be myself and to let people make an educated decision on if they want to believe the lies, which they're more than welcome to believe, or to believe the person that actually knows what's going on, and giving you the truth on it, and who has no reason to lie, right? So. If I was a wrestling promoter, I'd just let Ryback be himself instead of forcing him to play a generic big guy role. I don't think I ever played a generic big guy role. And you got to remember, Ryback, that the 2012 version of Ryback, uh, that was the most over that I ever was with that. And merchandise wise and everything was red hot on fire. That is a role that I excel in better. I play that role better than anybody. And I'm very confident. I play a lot of role. I'm very confident how I could play a lot of role. I could play. I think I'm the best damn bully on the planet. I think I am a 10 out of 10 bully. As far I understand that role from different movies I've seen, and it's fun to just do that stuff because it's not real, right? And it's so far away from my personality in real life. So it's like you get a chance to like just be somebody different with all of that. So, but I think I don't think I ever played a generic big guy, and the numbers show that. You and Curtis Axel are still my favorite tag team. Rybacksel, I talk to Joe pretty often. He is a producer for WWE now. How ironic is it? He took over for Pat PB. We don't even say his name. What's going on, guys? Good to see everybody in here. Super chats are brought up on screen. Starbucks coffee money for the big guy. Otherwise, I keep scrolling and answering as I see somebody ask, "What do you think of Braun Strowman?" I talked to Braun not that long ago. I like Braun. Me and Braun always. I like everybody for the most part. I'm pretty everybody. I don't know Braun that well, but we wrestled quite a bit together when he was part of the Wyatt family. I always thought he was very easy to work with, even though he was very new at that time. He was very easy to work with. He's a big, strong guy, and I'm very happy for all of his success. And I was shocked, just like I think everybody. I don't know, him, like guys like him, Bray Wyatt getting released. I don't have the details of what went into those decisions, and I don't understand it. And because I believe those guys made the company far more revenue than their downsides were worth. And I know they were. There's no doubt that they were. So I don't understand. But he seems to be doing well and happy, and that's all that I'm very happy for that. Have my company's operations been affected by the pandemic, and what's your long-term plans for your brand? Long-term plans are to continue to build and grow and become as big as possible, be in every country, worldwide distribution. I want Feed Me More Nutrition in every gym that is possible. I want it in every supplement store. I want to be the face of health and fitness with that, giving quality products, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Things are falling into place, and it's going to get a lot more aggressive. And things take time, and learning the ins and outs of business and marketing, and all that jazz. But that is the plan with that, and to continue to grow. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. It's been challenging, and like I said, the pandemic is prices have gone up, raw materials have gone up, shipping has gone up, and hopefully things stabilize and come back down. Obviously we had marketing. I noticed a major difference in marketing results once the pandemic really set in, about between 4 to 6 months. I don't know the exact. I just remember like in that, was it 2020? Halfway into the year, I noticed things where I was like, I got to start making some adjustments, which is why I did the cash giveaways on marketing, because our marketing wasn't delivering what it was after years of just climbing. Is because people's spending habits changed when all the fear and people, right? So like any other business, but I survived it and actually grew during it. But it's not been easy. It's frustrating more than anything, because you're just spending more money. And like I've tried not to know, we had to raise our prices a little bit on things, and it's just right. But like there's a lot going on in the world. It's not, being a business owner is not easy. Like there's so much that you guys, that's why I always, with the people um that think I just do like social media, that's me hustling on the side. Like those videos, and I get ad revenue from it and from TikTok and YouTube, right? And then like doing this show, this is just all a side hustle. The nutrition is my job. And then my job, and I have fulfillment, and I have customer service, and I've got people that work for me that I'm so blessed to have in my life. And then like the more I hustle, the more we do, right? And so, but that allows me to do some fun things, to go eat. I get to go eat. I record myself eating my cheat meal every week. But you got to remember, I would just go have my cheat meal in private. I do the extra work by recording it and doing an extra show every week, which there's people and I get it. Not everyone's going to understand business and entrepreneurship and understand the years and hours that went into making this what it is. Where they go, oh, this guy just eats chips. I just look at that. I go, if that's what you think, my friend, more power to you with that. And I don't care on changing people's. You're dealing with, you got kids that don't understand. They're only going to know what they know from whatever household they're in and whatnot. And the information being put out is, if you ever see any videos, I've seen stuff of like, where are the Nexus guys now? Right? They literally just have my chip eating meme on that. No mention of anything that I've done. No mention of Feed Me More Nutrition. No mention of overcoming the injuries. No mention of the podcast. Nothing. No mention of being the most followed on social media on TikTok. No mention of building a YouTube channel from nothing to 400,000 subscribers in a few years. Nothing. That's all huge stuff, especially while being suppressed. But that's the stuff going out, and I just look at it, I go, well, they're not getting the information correct. So, but you got it, and it just makes it all that much more sweet when I know what's really going on. Hello, hello. Do I like tacos? Who doesn't like tacos? Of course I like tacos. You think I'm some sort of freak? Thank you for all the love on TikTok. They're just jealous of your success. Somebody says on TikTok, yeah, and it is. People are going to be people. That's why I was like, there's billions of people on the planet. We all have our opinions, and there's people that want to share things on comments. I was like, when you just start living life and you realize, you just stop like trying to change people's opinions, because it's like people are gonna think what they're gonna think regardless. You could do all the right things and do everything and be the nicest person in the world and bite your tongue on everything, and there's gonna be a massive amount of people that hate you still. It's just the way that it is. And I've just learned their insecurities and their issues, their problems are theirs. They're not mine. And the more secure I am, the more happy I am in my real life, the less that stuff ever even registers on the big guy's radar. I have been to Scotland. I have been to Scotland multiple times. And I've always enjoyed it there. Let's see. I am 17 years old. I have no motivation to go to the gym, no matter what I do. I know you're not supposed to look for motivation, but I can't seem to get any no matter what I try. My thoughts, any thoughts? So I would say I always tell people you got to look at the core. What's the issue with what's going on? And I always say life is energy, food is energy. If we fix our food, we fix our mood. So that's the first thing I would look at it. Look at what you're putting in your body consistently. If you're in a household, you're 17, you have a lot of junk food. Your energy levels are low. You're not consuming healthy, nutritious foods. You're not getting the correct macronutrients, and you're not feeding your body the right micronutrients that are in fruits and vegetables and different nuts and seeds and other plant-based foods, right? So that's going to be the first thing. Look at the quality of the food that you are consuming. Look at the habits. Are you drinking a lot of sodas? Are you putting a lot of sugar in your body? Are you tired all the time? My thing is this: if you have energy, and when you fix our food and we fix our mood, you have happier thoughts, you feel better, you do have more motivation. But your energy levels are the key to life. This is why I always talk about unlimited energy. I strive for that. I remember it's such a big thing with me that because if you have energy, you have to do something with that energy. You just don't have all this energy and be like, oh, I don't want to do anything with this energy. No, the key to life is having this energy. And that is why you see a lot of successful people that you're like, how do they do it? They're always so energetic. People will accuse them of being on drugs. It's no, they're so passionate about what they're doing, but they have a lot of good habits in their life typically that where they just that they're able just like boom, 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 boom. And that's why I get up every morning. I woke up today at 3:30, wide awake. I got myself to sleep till 5 with that. And like, but I get up early every single day. I'm excited to get up and get going with that. And I feel good. And I've done things to make my body feel good because when I was hurt and injured, God, it sucked waking up before I had all my stem cells and did all this work to get better. It was like I was miserable. It was everything was so much work in that. So it's like I had to do all these small things that were huge things, but you have to do these things in an order to fix yourself so you could do bigger things and do more things. So you got to fix your core. And so that's where you got to look down. You got to look at your life and say, okay, I have no motivation. You have to ask yourself the right questions. Why don't I have motivation? And with the things that I'm telling you, you have to write down and see what am I doing. But and the key is you need energy. You need energy with that. And I can tell you, go buy my pre-workout, my Wake Up Unlimited Energy. But you need to solve the problems within before that, and that can help greatly still. And take that before your workout. But that alone, though, you still need to fix these other things so that you have energy constantly. And if you do that, I think you're gonna find that your motivation is going to increase. In real world, you need to have relationships with real people, and people that can help motivate you or like-minded with you. And I never needed somebody to go to the gym. A lot of people need somebody to go to the gym. So maybe you find somebody that wants to work out as well, that can hold you accountable for going every day also. So those days, if you're on your own and you're like, I'm not going to go work out, I don't want to work out, and you haven't addressed any other things, but if you've got a buddy though that you're supposed to go to the gym with every morning or every afternoon or whenever, right, that can help you hold you accountable where you're not going to let them down, right? And they can get on it. That depends. And that's meeting real people and having real life stuff going on that a lot of people, I feel for the young people and all people, it's happening to adults where they don't have real life relationships with anybody. And so, and you'll see it feels like it's you against the world. And it really isn't. If you, like I said, address the things that I mentioned and try to meet some real people that are good people, because there's a lot of good people on the planet. Yeah, we do ship to Europe. We have worldwide flat rate shipping, $34.99 on that, $19.99 to Canada, $9.99 domestic on that. But the $34.99, I always recommend. We pay for the difference. That, like, shipping is very expensive overseas. We cover everything over that though. So I always recommend, if you buy multiple things, the shipping more than pays for itself, and we cover it. Like, there's oftentimes shipping can be 70, 80, $90 to Europe over there. We pay that difference for you on there. And that's just one of the things I did to make it the supplements for worldwide for people to be able to buy them off feedmemore.com. All right. You're very welcome. Thank you for the nice comment, John. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to wrap up today's show, guys. I got to get some more work done. I actually got to go get the car cleaned out. I've been taking the dogs for a lot of car rides. So I got to go clean that all out. And because little guy, Sophie likes to shed a lot during the summer as well with everything. I thank you for your time and everyone for the super chats today. Thank you. Thank you. As well as all the love and support on TikTok and IG. Check out Feed Me More Nutrition, feedmemore.com. You can save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20, RYBACKSHOW20 on feedmemore.com. And Apple podcast reviews are greatly appreciated at all times. We got also, did I just miss a super chat there? Or we got one more super chat before we wrap up today's show. Life of Daz, good to see you, Daz. Howdy, buddy. You made do finally on TikTok. Thank you, buddy. Yes, TikTok is up and running and flowing once again. We're about to hit 2.7 million on there. So I thank you guys. It could happen at any hour at this point. We're very close with all of that. So thank you for all the love and support, guys. And until next time, stay hungry, my friends. Feed me more.